Cool. So, let's take a look at this thing. Oh, God. Oh, no. Let's just go here. Have it. It's so bright. So, here is a phase 1 assessment. So there's this big README. It just says, hey, it's an assessment. And then there's 5 parts. Just as I told you last week, there's 5 parts, right? 3 Ruby parts and 2 schema parts. Oh, P.S. and by the way, I was going to say no computerized notes, but it's a little late because now you don't have the opportunity to get a regular notepad. So just please no code. I think that's fair. You can take notes on the stuff and this is sort of how these things work and how this thing works, but don't just take large sections. Okay, so there's 5 parts, 3 Ruby parts, and then 2 schema related parts. And I'm just going to open all 5 up in a thing. My plan here, P.S. and by the way, is to just code through this thing and talk to myself in my normal talk to myself coding voice. You can stop me and ask me questions if you so desire, but I'm going to just do the things how I would do them, because part of it is exposing you to the stuff, part of it is exposing you to workflow, right? So I've got these 5 things open. I'll just kill the front one now, and one by one I'm going to go through, and I would take the time to read probably this entire thing. So in this challenge, we're defining a class. Oh, I know how to do that. Cool. So defining a class that represents a shipping container, too big, that may contain crate objects. Okay, so I see 2 classes. In this example, we'll assume each crate is the same size, but may vary in weight. The container is full when it has either reached its weight capacity or crate capacity, whichever comes first. Shipping container instance can answer questions like how much weight can be added, how many crates can be added, and is it full? Test. Oh, hey, there's specs. Cool. I like specs. Specs are awesome. So I should run them. Let's try that. CD into part 1, and let's run them. Okay, 13 examples, 5 failures, 8 pending. So I don't care about the yellow ones. They're pending. I care about the red ones. So here we go. Shipping container attributes, has a destination, has a maximum weight, has a maximum crates, has crates, and maximum weight can be changed. Okay, so it looks like from the failing specs that I'm probably gonna have to make the shipping container class and give it some attributes. And no big deal, right? We know how to do that. So let's open this thing up. Let's go to the place. And oh, here's my class. The files that I have. You know what? It's probably a really good idea that I take a cursory glance around the challenge, even if it just takes 20 seconds before I start writing any code. So I'm just going to look at all the files. All right, I've got the shipping container file that has a class shipping container in it. There's the README. I don't care about the README. Okay, here's crate. What's crate got? It's big enough. Okay, crate is a class that has a reader on the weight. It initializes with args or an empty hash and sets the variable weight to passed in weight or a default value of 0. Okay. That's an RSpec helper, and oh, here's my specs. Sweet. Let's read through them really quick. Describing attributes, and then several tests around attributes. So those are all going to be probably pretty similar. And then working with crates, so describing a method current weight, describing a method crates counts. You all know this, right? That this shorthand, when you see the pound sign up here, it's shorthand for this a method. Cool. Adding crates, exceeding weights, exceeding crates, Okay, so it looks like, yeah, I'm gonna have to define some attributes, and I'm going to have to like count up how many things I've got, and I'm gonna need some way of like adding new things in. That'll probably, based on these tests, come with some conditional logic as to whether or not I can or can't do that. Cool? So like now I've got a good feel for all the code that's here, right? Like I'm not gonna be surprised by anything. I'm not gonna be like missing out on some big chunk because I forgot to like go and look. So I know all the code that affects my current like challenge. So I'm gonna close these out now. I'm just gonna focus on the one file that I need, which is shipping container. So let's put this over here. And let's go up. Failure, let shipping container.new destination Hawaii creates max weight, max creates argument error, wrong number of arguments. It was given 1 but expected 0. Oh, it's because I don't have an initialize method. This test is trying to pass an argument here. What kind of argument is it trying to pass? It's a hash. Yeah, sweet. It's trying to pass it to initialize, but I don't have an initialize. INITIALIZE, INITI. Yeah, there we go. Always double check that you spelled initialize right. It's such a pain in the ass error when you get it wrong, and it's almost like it's so impossible for your eyes to like see it. Now what do I want to do? Anybody?
Set up what you're actually having for your
Wrong.
variables in there? No.
Wrong.
Run it.
Run it.
Yep.
There you go. That is right. Right? Like the beauty of test-driven development, having specs, is that you can make a change and you can run those specs. And like the specs will, to a certain extent, drive your choices and the things that you need to do. Hmm?
Why are you typing brspec dot? What's B?
Oh God, we'll not talk about that today, but we will talk about it, I promise. You can just rspec. Okay. So looking at the first spec here, failure, expected shipping container dot destination. So we got a different error message when we reran them. So that fixed those error messages we were getting before. This is good news. To equal Hawaii, no method error, undefined method destination for the shipping container. Right, well, because I haven't given it any methods. So I probably need to like give it some methods. Let's put this over here. I probably need to like assign all those values that came in. If you are unsure about what you're getting as your input, like this should be your first go-to right here. Like pee out the thing. It costs you nothing to like pee a variable out really quickly, roll up, check it, know exactly what it is instead of like making an assumption and rabbit holing because like it's a hash but you thought it was an array, or it's an integer but you thought it was a string. You know what I mean? So just like tip. All right, so I need to make attributes for all these things. Let's just do that really quickly. Destination equals args, it's a hash, and they're symbols, so I'm just gonna get them out like this. Destination at crates equals args, crates at weight, no, at max weight. No, too much. Okay, crates. Good. Am I missing anything?
Is crates going to be initialized with, like you're going to pass in the values of initialized?
I'm sorry?
Like crates also is going to have, it's going to be initialized with crates already?
It looks that way. It looks like what's being passed in as crates.
Okay.
Like we're receiving, this is the key and this is the value. So what is this value?
It's an object.
I'm sorry?
An object?
Nay. Huh?
It's an
What?
instance of crate.
I thought I heard it.
It's an array of objects.
Boom. Ding, ding, ding.
Ah, okay.
It is an array of objects, right? So that's what we've got. If we rerun this now, like it's not going to change anything. We'll still have all the exact same failures because we still don't have methods for these, right? So we need those adders. Let's set them up. Adder reader for destination, crates, max weight, max crates.
And you're assuming you're not gonna have to write anything right now?
I'm not assuming that at all. The specs that I was reading told me there was an undefined method for the readers. So I'm solving that problem.
Oh, okay,
I'm not thinking ahead
okay.
because I don't want to overcomplicate things. Now, oh hey, look at that. That took me down to only one error on the whole thing. Now I've just got one error left and it's undefined method max weight equals, which is the writer.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Right? So cool. So my tests now have like borne out this need that I'll have down the road. So I didn't need to overcomplicate it and like think about that logic from the get-go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
So for max weight, we'll pull it out of the reader and we'll put it into an assessor. And we'll run it again. Oh, hey, cool, 0 failures. So that's it. That's release 0, right? Is just that like I was able to make this class and I was able to assign some attributes. Now, probably a good time for commit. Because I did the thing, right? Like, all right, assign some args in the ship container. That said, before I move on, like, can any of these values maybe be better if they had a default? Like, you'll notice that I didn't use fetch. I used square bracket notation, which means that like I'm expecting nils for all these things, right? Could any of them benefit from maybe a default value?
Crates,
And what would that be?
an empty array.
Boom. Right? So we'll modify just crates because it really makes sense for crates. Like if we don't get any crates passed in, then we just got this empty thing. So that way, like if we have methods which work on the crates attribute, like you don't run into that error of like calling those methods on something which isn't an array. Awesome. And because I made a change in the code, I'm just gonna like rerun the specs to ensure that nothing broke. And it's still 0 failures, so we're still all good.
Mark for that?
I'm sorry?
Is that just a bonus, or would you lose marks for not doing that?
Doing what?
The test passed, but you never had, before the default, I mean, had you not set a default, would you have still?
I mean, it works it works either way, right? Just probably a little bit better design pattern. You should aim for the top, not the bare minimum.
Always.
Okay then. Another commit. This one much more granular, just like add sensible, whatever, you know how to spell it, defaults for crates. Okay, cool. Back to the README. So that's release 0. Release 1, working with crates in the test shipping container class, is the example group working with crates. This example group is currently marked as pending, which is why our tests are coming out as pending. I need to change that to not pending. God, go away. Oh my God, go away. I don't care. So we'll look at the spec. And we'll find the thing called pending. Command F is your friend, always. And so we changed it just like the README told us. We changed it to false, and now we're gonna run them again. And now we've got 8 failures. So it like took those tests from pending to not pending. 8 failures. All right, this is a lot of text to have to scroll through every time. Yeah? Fuck that. I just want to run one spec at a time, so I'm going to grab from the dot through the end of the line number, and that's what I'm going to run. I'll key out my terminal, I'll run my BR spec or R spec, but instead of a dot, I'm going to tell it exactly what I want it to run, right down to the line number. And now I can just run one spec at a time. So a lot less scrolling to have to happen, a lot less data to be on the screen, get convoluted. So just one, right? Always a good rule of thumb is solve one problem at a time, and keep them small. So undefined method current weight for shipping container. Well, that's easy. I can fix that. I'll just make a method called current weight. I'll run it again. Okay, it expected a fixed num of 0, but instead it got nil class of nil. Well, that's probably because this method ain't doing jack shit. So let's go take a look at the specs, and let's try to figure out what current weight needs to do. Okay, so the first spec, which is the one we're on, is when the thing is empty. So we've got a let statement here. Let empty shipping container equals a new shipping container that has the following attributes: destination, crates, max weight, and oh yeah, crates is empty. And then the spec says it returns 0. So expect empty shipping container dot current weight to be 0. So I mean, I suppose I could do this. That seems kind of cheesy. That's probably not going to work out for me. No? All right, so current weight. So I need to think here a little bit about like current weight. It seems to me from reading the specs and from just looking at this on the screen that like it probably wants to know what the weight of all the crates together is. Yeah? We all got that? Sure. So I've got this crates collection up here. It's an array. What can I do with arrays? I'm sorry? Possibly. I think an important facet is just recognizing that we have the crates attribute available to us. We could reduce it, but I'm gonna write it the kind of easy peasy way. So crates.each do crate. So my block parameter is like always the singular version of the thing that I'm making. And I need to do. And then here's the thing that I do in production level code that I write like to this day. Like if there is any ambiguity or unsure like sense in any part of my body as to what I've got and what I'm working with, my first move inside of any iteration is to pee out the thing. It takes 1 second, right? Like I put it in there, I pop over here, I peed out the thing, and where is it? Well, it's jack shit, unfortunately, because it's empty. It never happens. God damn it. That makes a terrible example.
If you had some, sorry,
Oh, and I'm running the wrong. No, I'm running the right spec.
can you add some text in front of it just so you know that that part is printing out? Would you do
I totally can. Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Seriously? Oh my God. I don't care. I'll do it the long way. No, it's not happening because the container is empty. Right, so like the each doesn't kick off because it never has a crate to use. So like the each doesn't even initialize. We're getting there. Here.
And does that have to be a space between the do and the pipe, or is that just?
Here. No, that doesn't matter. It's just because it's empty, right? So this is a terrible example for me to like get up on my soapbox with. If we ran all the specs, we'd see it. Boom. Create, create object. Right? So like it works when there's stuff in there. It doesn't work when you're iterating over an empty collection. My bad. But like I've verified what the thing is. It's a create object, like if we had one. And then a create object has what attributes? We totally can. Absolutely. It has a weight. So let's just try this. Let's like maybe p create dot weight. Like before we start executing logic, let's just verify the data that we think we have. Oh, hey, I got back integers, 300 and 100. Yay. So integers are awesome. What can we do with integers? We can add them up. So maybe I like make a variable up here called total, which equals 0. And down here, I'm just going to say total plus equals create.weight. And then I have to return total at the bottom. That's a common failure for folks, right? Like failing to recognize the last thing that's run and the last thing that's evaluated, which is going to be the return thing from your Ruby method unless you explicitly state otherwise. So now if I run this, hey, we're down to 6 failures, right? It returns 0 when it's 0. It returns a total weight when it's done. Cool? Do you want to see it using reduce really quickly? If you wanted to reduce it, yeah, you could do this thing in one line. It'd be at crates dot reduce 0 block, where you take crates and sum, and then you do crate dot sum plus equals crate dot weight. Seven failures. Which one didn't work out? Returns the total weight of the crates. Yeah, I fucked them up, right? The accumulator comes first. Is that it? Yeah. My bad. Hashtag documentation, right? Like, it's literally impossible to remember all this stuff. I hope I've made that point abundantly clear over the course of the phase. So that's 2 ways you could do that method. Moving on. I really got to pick up the pace here. Sorry, folks. Shipping container works with crates. Crates count returns the number of crates currently loaded. Undefined method crates count. Cool. Def crates count. Hit it again. I expected 2, it got nil. So it expected 2 crates, but it got none. Well, that's easy. I'm just going to do at crates.length. 5 failures. Undefined method add crate. Cool. Add crate. Let's look. So I added the add crate. I really love this setup too, by the way, of like being able to see my code and my terminal at the same time, so you don't have to click back and forth, back and forth. Expect shipping container dot add crate, which takes this new crate to be true. Wrong number of arguments is given 1, expected 0. Well, I don't have it taking anything yet, so let's take in a crate. Cool. And then what's crate? Anybody?
An object in an array.
An object in an array?
Or it's just an object.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to pee that thing out. And like get 100% sure before I start like making logical decisions about how I consume this input when I'm not 100% sure on the input. I could also go and like read the specs and find it. But yeah, we see here it's a crate object. Does everybody recognize that this is how objects look in Ruby?
Yeah.
Just making sure. Great. So yeah, it's a crate object. Cool. So, I'm sorry.
That's stored in an array.
Not in an array. Nay, it's just an object on its own. If it was an array, it'd be surrounded by square brackets. All right, working with crates, add crate. Within the maximum weight and the maximum crate, it returns true. So, like, I'm probably going to have to, like, do some thinking here about, like, what all I have available to me. What all do I have available to me? Let's run through the list.
You have the crate file. See what the class is.
I've got the crate class. I've got some attributes. Where are my shipping containers going? The actual crates that I've got. The maximum weight, that's probably going to be important. And the maximum crates, that's probably going to be important. So it looks like, according to the spec over here, that I probably shouldn't be able to add something to the crates collection if it would like put me over these limits. So let's try that out. So it sounds like I'm probably going to need a conditional. So like if at max weight is less than what? What would it be? Oh, you know what? I totally have a method up here that I already wrote called current weight that like figures out how much my shipping container currently weighs. So if the maximum weight is less than the current weight, like we don't want to add the thing. And if the max crates is less than the crates count, right? Then I don't want to add the thing. So maybe this would be like an unless. No. If max weight is less than the current weight and max crates is less than the crates count, right? That tells me I'm under both my limits, right?
What happens if it's equal to that affects the situation?
Ooh, yeah. It would affect the situation. Let's think about it in a second. Let's get our end in here because like the fact that we hadn't written it was like literally burning a hole in my soul. And let's just do the true thing here and see if our spec changes from 4 to anything. It doesn't. It stays at 4. It expected true, it got nil, so clearly this didn't like happen. Shipping container work with crates, add crates. When within maximum weight and maximum crates, it returns true. So, I don't like this logic. It just doesn't like flow well for me. I want to flip it back and reverse it. If the current weight...
Sorry, that was a misspell on the song reference. Thanks, Britt. Yep. I'm on the same page.
Okay. I thought it was a Willy Wonka reference. If the current weight is under the max weight and the current crates is under the max crates, that just sounds much like more Englishy to me.
Couldn't you have just like change direction of the? Okay.
And hey, that did the trick. I got back true. So now we're down to 3 failures. So like move on to the next one. Working with crates, add crates when within the maximum weight and maximum crate. It adds the crate to the shipping container. Shit. Okay, so I have to actually do some work. I have to at crates, shovel the crate. I've got this new crate object. I've got this collection of crates. I'm going to put it in there. That should take me down to 2. It does. Shipping container working with crates, add crate. When exceeding the maximum weight, returns false. So maybe I could like return here and then I just like put a false down here. Right? Everybody good with that? Like, because now the false becomes unreachable code. Like if the conditional hits, then the return thing hits and line 33 never like sees the light of day. Okay, cool. Now I'm down to 1. Fucking awesome. Shipping container working with crates, add crates when exceeding the maximum weight returns false. Oh, hey, what the hell? I've got if the current weight is under the maximum weight, fuck me, right? What happens about my crate? It's got to be the current weight plus the crate dot weight. Because current weight only takes into account like the things that are already there. And now we're good.
Can you repeat that last bit?
Can I repeat what bit? This?
Oh, you put, okay, I got it. Never mind. You just put, okay, you just added the current weight of the crate.
That's correct, right? Like I had failed to, like my initial logic here failed to take into account the fact that the
Current weight increments.
well that the crate that I'm adding can't put me over the weight limit, right? Like if my weight limit is 50,000 pounds and I'm trying to add a crate that's 90,000 pounds, like that shit ain't gonna work out. You know what I mean? So I've got to like take that into account. And that's it for part 1. Dunsies. Moving on. Go away. All right, part 2. Let's close this. I'm done with this, so I'm going to close this out. All right, looks like I've got a dog class and a points calculator. We're working with a collection of objects. Dog and points calculators have been written for us. Some test. Sweet, we've got more test. Dog show. What rankings do dogs have? What dogs did best? And what is the rank of a particular dog? Run the specs. Fill out these methods as follows. So exactly the same as I did before, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to look. I'm going to open up all the files first. And like see what I can see. So I've got this points calculator class. It's a class. It's got some variable up here. It's got some method down here, points for dog, which looks like it takes in a dog object or something. Yeah, it's calling methods on the thing that it receives, so it must be an object. I've got a dog show class, which has a reader for calculator and dogs, and then those two variables, calculator and dogs. Okay, dogs is an array, and calculator is, oh, it's an instance of the points calculator class from over here. Cool. All right. I got a dog class, which has, okay, it's got, a dog has some variables like name, cuteness, obedience, and tricks. And then I've got add readers on those things. That's very straightforward.
Can you go back to that first thing you said? It's supposed to be an object because why on the?
This one must be an object because methods are being called on it.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yes, okay. See, I didn't see the first part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And then I got my specs. Looks like they're making a bunch of objects up here. And then they're putting all those objects into an array, right? Like this is variable Fido, like represents the dog Fido, and so forth. Making a new points calculator, making a new dog show, sending it that collection of dogs, and sending it that calculator. So all this stuff is going on the ride to the new dog show. And then here's our actual specs. Has a dog, shows dogs. Okay, so dogs needs to match this array, calculator needs to equal this thing. And then, okay, so rankings returns a collection of dogs sorted by points. Best dog returns the top half of the dogs in the show. And ranking for a particular name returns the position of the dog with the name that was passed in. All right, let's run these and see what we get. So I RSpec it up. I only have 3 failures, so only 3 specs to pass. Well, that's not bad. The rest are all passing, the other 7. So dog show hashtag rankings returns a collection of dogs sorted by points in descending order. All right, undefined method rankings. So I probably need to make one of those. Let's head over here. Def rankings. Run it again. Okay, it expected, what did it expect? Alright, it expected this is an array of dog objects. Yeah? But it got nil, because I'm doing jack shit. Alright? So how am I going to do this? How am I going to rank the dogs out?
So just call
At dogs, so like that's the, that's, dog is what? It's going to be like this here, right? Like it's going to be an array. I don't know. We can p it out. We can find out. P at dogs. Okay, where is it? Here it is. It's dogs is an array of dog objects. Fido, Fluffy, Wishbone, Jeff. Dogs have a name, a cuteness, an obedience, and a tricks. All okay. But it wants me to like rank them. I got to figure out how to rank them. How am I going to rank these dogs? If only there was something in my code that could like help me rank things. Like, I'm sorry, like a what? A meme?
Average.
Yes, like a meme. Sure.
But there was that other, in the other file, there was a method that calculated that, right?
Oh, you mean in the points calculator there was a method called literally points for dogs? Yes, that's correct. That's true. I could probably use that. How does that work? That's going to be my next big question. We already looked at it a little bit. Okay, so I call the method and I give it a dog object. That's what we determined, right? I'm still not sure though. I really don't believe my own logic terribly, and I think maybe there's somewhere else in the code here that I could go and look and find out how this thing works, like the spec. Right? That's another thing specs are great for, right? Like, to a certain extent, code has to be implemented in order for specs to be functional. So, like, I can pop over here and like take a look at how they actually use this thing. So how do they use it? Well, they made a dog named Fido. They made the calculator, and then expect, what is this? Calculator dot points for dog, where they passed it Fido, and it gave back an integer value. So if I wanted to make that happen over here, how would I do that?
Iterate through each dog that you have in your array of objects. And run the method.
How do I run the method?
Dog dot whatever the method is called.
Classic mistake. Dog dot whatever. I don't see any methods on dog called points for dog. Huh?
Don't you want the method to return an array of dogs?
Yes, but let's hold off on that for just a second. Where's the points for dogs live again? And how do I call this method? This method is attached to what class?
Points calculator.
What kind of method is it? Inside of a class, there can only be two kinds of methods, right? Huh?
Instance.
It's an instance method, meaning that I have to call it on what? An instance of a points calculator. Yes, there we go. If only there was something here that I had. Oh, like calculator. Oh, god damn it. Dot points for dog. And I'm going to pass it the dog. And I'm just going to pee this line out. And it gave me back a bunch of integer values. That's sweet. Yay. All right. At this point, like I could do some, now I've figured out how to run the points, how to get the point values. This is a major step in the right direction. Now I've got to, what did the spec say? It said, returns a collection of dogs sorted by points in descending order. So now I got to figure out some way to sort these dogs by the stuff. How the hell am I going to do that? Well, I want a Ruby sort by like some attribute or something maybe. Let's open up several of these and we'll take a look. See what we can find. Oh, holy shit. Ruby has a method called sort by. That could prove useful. So objects.sort by takes a block, and then the object, and then some attribute. Fuck me, I'm all done researching. I'm just going to use that. Let's try it. At dogs.sort by dog takes a block with a single block parameter, right? And then this thing. We'll just like grab this whole whatever. So I want to sort by whatever the value is that's generated when I send this dog off to the point calculator. Let's try that. Still 3 failures. Whoa, there's a lot more green on my screen now. What's going on with this? It expected Wishbone to be in first place, but got Fido in first place. And Fido's in last place here. And Wishbone's in last place here. Oh, they're backwards. Yeah, it needs to be in descending order. So let's just throw this on the end. And now we're down to 2. So that's rankings. Method's done. Whoops. I fucked it up. Oh well. So I'll clean out my old code because it doesn't need to be there. And now let's move on. What's the next one? The best dogs. Best dogs returns the top half of the dogs in the show. What, like based on their ranking? Yeah, Wishbone, Fluffy, Wolf, and Spot. Oh, well, okay. Best dogs. So, I mean, I could like duplicate this and then just take like the top half. Or I could do the super what all the cool kids are doing out behind the bleachers after school, and I could reuse like my method. Like I already have a method that generates the rankings for me. I could just reuse that. So I could say rankings, and then what is this? What's this return? And yeah, both answers are right. Sorry. It returns an array of, the ideal answer is an array of objects. But like it's an array. And if we only want certain elements to have an array, what can we do?
So while and did the first 4 or
I'm sorry?
just run a while, so it takes.
Under no circumstances are you to write a while loop tomorrow.
Yeah.
You access them by index?
Yes, you access it by index.
Okay.
Square brackets and indexes is how we get values out of an array. Which I could do like this or something, but you can also pass it a range. So let's do that. 0 through like rankings.length divided by 2. Not quite. Looks like the best dogs it wanted down through Spot, and I gave it down through Jeff. So I gave it 1 extra dog. It is the most common error in all of programming. The off by 1, right? Which when we're dealing with a range, right? 2 dots is inclusive, 3 dots is exclusive. So we can just add an extra dot and be good. We could also throw a -1 on the end of our math. Either way works. Whatever floats your boat. And now we're down to 1. Hooray! And we just got this method ranking 4. So let's make that really quick. Ranking 4, which takes in a name, right? A lot of information to be garnered from these specs here. Like a dog name. And it wants, well, let's run it again. Let's find out. All right, it wants an integer back. And instead it's getting back nil right now because I'm doing nothing. So we'll use the rankings method again. Rankings. And then, what if I did like an each with index? Y'all know about each with index? Fucking love each with index. So good. Do like dog and IDX. And then I could like check each one of these and I could say like, maybe I'll do like an inline conditional or it's like return IDX if dog.name equals dog underscore name. Yay. Expected 1 got 0. Another off by 1 error. Why is that? Boom, it's a zero-based index. So we just need to like say IDX plus 1. And now we're green on part 2. Bonus points for this type of a challenge though. I mean, the each with index is great. I'm not gonna like shit on you for using it. But would prefer really to see something along the lines of like rankings.find dog. No, my bad, not find. Rankings.index of dog where dog.name equals dog name. Oh god, that is not okay.
Okay, sorry.
Just like crazy bright in my eyes. And plus 1. You know what I mean? 2 ways of skinning the same cat. Or dog. Alright, so that's part 2. We're moving on. Fuck. This is taking so long. As it turns out, talking about code is laborious.
Are you gonna go through the entire stuff?
That was the plan.
Yes, please.
You want me to stop?
No,
Damn
this is great.
it.
You can have, if you want a break, you can do that.
No thanks. Part 3 is all about object-oriented design patterns. So this is refactoring, right? You're given a fully functional test suite. Everything's green. There's no specs to pass. Yay. Your job is to keep them green. So you've got a ton of files over here. And like they share a lot of functionality. So you've got to modify these files and keep the specs passing in order to dry them out, make them better use object-oriented design principles. Now, if we're refactoring object-oriented Ruby, we really only have 2 options. Can anyone tell me what they are?
Composition and inheritance.
That's right, because there's only 2 fucking ways that classes can be related to each other in Ruby. Like they can be composed of other things or they can inherit. But we also like have the ability to add in additional functionality using a right. So for refactoring, I would say that like really your only 2 options are like use a module or use a parent class. That's pretty much it. So you have to make decisions around like when is the right time to do either of those things. So let's take, probably a really good first bet is to, and if you read the README, it says things like don't focus on refactoring like the individual methods, like just look at the broad strokes. So I'm in video game here and I see video game has some attrs. It's got to initialize with some variables, available, checkout, checked out, return, damage, record damage, and repair. All right, what about a movie? Available, checkout, checked out, return, damage, record damage, repair. That's like the exact same. Yes, it's literally the exact same thing. Okay, moving on. Media book. Oh, hey, damage, record damage, repair, add item, remove item, available items, okay, this one's a little different, but some of them are the same. These three I think are the same. Yeah? Let's keep going. Library system doesn't have those things. A library doesn't have those things. Available, checkout, return. Oh, damage, record, damage, repair. There's those three again on CD. And on book. Damage, record, damage, repair. Yeah? Like, I see several classes now where this damage thing is happening. So that seems like probably a really great place to start breaking out right off the bat. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to touch. These are just methods, right? Well, probably the first things first is I should look where all the damage occur. Book, CD, a media kiosk, a movie, and a video game. So all those things share these methods. Is there any way that I can construe to have all of those things like inherit from the same parent class, so they share like a common lineage? I can just put these methods in the parent. You know what I mean? Video game, movie, media kiosk, CD, and book. Any common ancestry there?
Not really.
Not really. No, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I suppose in one sense of the word, they're all matter. But that might be a bit of a stretch. Although, if you tried that, I would probably give you kudos. Just saying. Like, this class inherits from atoms. So if I can't do inheritance, then I'm only left with one choice. Right? If I want to drive this stuff out, I need to make a module. I need to use the module for exactly what it's supposed to be used for, which is like putting methods that I need to share across unrelated classes. So I'm going to make a new file. I'm going to copy this stuff, and I'm going to make a new file. Touch, damageable, whatever, .rb.
Three new files.
Why 3?
Okay, sorry. Never
One
mind.
problem at a time there, buddy.
Okay.
So now I can open up damageable. Damn it. Module, damageable. I think that's how you spell it. I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to paste these in. Rerun my specs. I made a change. I'm going to rerun my specs. Like every time I change anything, I'm going to rerun these specs. Because I never want to get more than one red step away. Right? Like you don't want to be 5 steps through and not know how to like get back to a green state. And then I'll need to include it somewhere. So I'll start here with video game. I'm going to comment this out. So now those are gone. I expect if I run them again, I'll get some failures. I do. So I'm 1 step away from green. So now I need to like make my change here to hopefully get it back to green, which is going to be I need to require relative damageable, and modules have to be included. Back to green. Sweet. That worked out. I made a module. I successfully like extracted those things out of this class. Yes?
Can you explain again the difference between include and exclude? Or what was the other option for including a module?
Include and extends.
Extend.
I will explain it to you tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. So like now that I've seen that this my theory around being able to make this module has worked out, right? Like now I can apply it to all the other classes which share the same functionality, right? So I'm gonna copy this thing, and let's come over here to movie, where we'll paste. I like to give myself a little padding. And media kiosk, where we'll paste. And I'm changing several files between running my specs, but that's because like I've already determined that this is a valid thing, and I'm only doing the same exact thing over and over and over again. I wouldn't want to make multiple changes, like we talked about earlier. Okay, so I just included it everywhere. Everything should still be running. I haven't actually removed any of the other old code. And now let's go through all those areas and murder. Ah, so ugly. Here we go. Rerun. I've completed my my task. Rerun. Still green. I'm good to go. Right. Let's. I'm going to use my shorthand syntax. It's quicker. Cam. Whatever. I don't care. No one's gonna read these ever. Okay. Then what about? So I'm not going to spend the time to go through this one completely. I mean, you've sort of seen a module extraction happen there. There's probably some other module extractions that can happen. What about the other way that we can dry out object-oriented code?
Inheritance?
We can either use a module or we can inherit from something. So let's take a second and have some critical thought here around
Library, book,
what's that?
library systems and book have a relationship.
Library system, and book. Oh, you lost me there at the last bit, buddy.
Well, they're all library items.
What's all library items?
Can't they all be checked out from the library?
What can all be checked out from library?
Movies, video games, the book.
Ooh, I like that. I just want to hold on. I just want to be clear. Library and library system, maybe. And media kiosk, maybe. We'd have to go and analyze the classes, but you're onto something there. But when you said book, you totally lost me. Because it doesn't pass the test. Is a. You're telling me that a library is a book? I've been to a lot of libraries.
Yeah.
Meh. Okay. But yeah, I really like that one back there about they're all
Rentable.
they're all library items. I really like that. All these things, every last one of them is something you can rent from a library or you get from a library. So video game, movie, CD, and book. So let's extract that out. And let's make it library items. So I'm going to touch a new class here called library. Fuck.
Variable.
Somebody spell library. Library.
R-A-R-Y.
Lybrary.
Hold on, let me help. Here, I can fix it, Felix. There we go. My teachers in grade school, I'll never forget as long as I live, man, they were always so pissed off at me because I consistently scored 99th percentile on everything. Across the board. All the standardized tests that you have to take in Florida because it's a stupid state. But I would fuck up their average super hardcore because my spelling was in the 20th percentile. It's bad. Whatever. All right, so I made a library.
You already have a library.rb, right? Yeah.
Shit, you're right. Library item. Cool. And let's go to that. Library item. And let's start making it. Class. Oh, man, I really love... remember the thing I was telling you earlier about the initialize? One of your Sublime snippets will autocomplete to spell initialize for you. Yeah, that helps a lot. So a library item initializes with args equals empty hash. And now we've got to start looking at these items and seeing like what they share that we could possibly extract up to a parent class. So CD has available, checkout, checked out, return, runtime, title, artist, and label. A book has a length, a title, an author, a format, and a language. So the only attribute it shares is title, but it has the available, checkout, checked out, return methods. Sorry. Around the bend. Oh, hey, there's title again. Available, checkout, checked out, return. We're done with damageable. I'm going to close it. Movie has title again. So it looks like everybody has title. And these methods around checking out. Yeah? Sweet. So I'm going to I'm gonna try to do something with my library item with that. I'm gonna be like at title equals args. What is it? It's just square brackets title. And additionally, I'm gonna go at no, I'm not gonna break my own fucking rule, Hunter. I'm gonna change one thing at a time. So I changed one thing. I'm not gonna set a bad example. The kids are watching. I'll yell at your mother after dinner. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to break something somewhere, right? So let's take title out of here and let's see that this breaks. It totally does. And now I need to fix it. So I need CD to inherit from library item, which means it's going to have to pull that file in. Library item. And if I run this again, that doesn't fix it though. It's still no good. I'm missing something. Super. Thanks for asking. Right? Because I want that attribute from the parent class. I got to call super or I don't get it. Hey, I fixed, now CD is inheriting from library item and I was able to like move this thing out. So now I can do the same thing in all these other classes, right? I'll require this thing in and I'll lose the title and I'll super. Oh, and I have to do this part. Keep on going. Wash, rinse, repeat. Lose the title, call the super, next, paste, lose the title, add the super, all right, so I did the same action across all of them, right? All good. Next thing, right, like I could like just take these methods here and I can move them over to library item. And now let's comment these out and it should just stay passing. So yeah, I'm gonna murder all these up. Mahalo. And now I've completed this pass. Check again, make sure I'm good. Good, I can move on, right? So now I'd be like, you know, establish parent class for library, whatever, items. You know what I mean? Okay. Ooh, I almost missed that. Yeah. Title doesn't, this adder reader for title doesn't belong on video game anymore. It's shared. It's just a method, right? It should totally go over here on library item. I should, you know, That's where that ought to go. Because that's where it lives now, right? And then I could go through and remove it from all the others. I'm not going to do that. I'm totally done with this challenge. I mean, I'm not totally done. There's definitely other things I could do. Like, I could probably create a couple more modules. There's probably there's something going on here. Add item, remove item, available items, unavailable items. Items, available items, unavailable items. So there's some like sharing of functionality still in these other classes. There's some opportunity for, like maybe another module or maybe another superclass. I don't know, right? Like we could look into that, but you get the basic gist. Okay. All right. It's 6:44. I'm not going to do part 4.
What is part 4 again? Just
It's the
title.
thing that all of you told me this morning went really well for you yesterday.
What was that again?
The sequel. Instead, I'm going to focus on the schema. Okay? All right. Oh, I will tell you this, though. I'll give you a pro tip on the sequel thing, right? Because I heard some stuff. I think it was you. It was talking about, like, you got out of SQL Tutor and you started doing it over in the terminal and, like, everything went to shit.
Yeah.
Don't write SQL in the terminal. Don't do that. Ever. Don't. Right? Just command in here in your editor. Command Shift P SQL. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. You can just like open up some new file here you're going to use as a sandbox and write your SQL here. You write your SQL in the editor as opposed to in the terminal, and then you copy paste to the terminal so that when you fuck it up, right? You can go back and edit it very easily and then run it again, and you don't have to like spend 5 minutes retyping out 4 lines of queries. You know what I mean? So that will like make things much more efficient for you. Okay. Close. No, die. Close. Okay. Part 5. We'll see. Maybe something on part 4, but it's late, and I want you to work on other stuff too. So we're going to use Schema Designer, and we're going to design a schema. So it looks like we have, these look a lot like user stories to me. Yeah? And so I'll need to be able to translate these user stories to that like visual schema design.
Can we do this on a whiteboard and take a picture?
You totally can. Yeah.
During the test tomorrow?
Yeah, you can do this on a whiteboard and take a picture. It is not advised.
Kind of animated?
I mean, it's totally fine. Yeah, you can totally whiteboard it out. You draw it on a big whiteboard. You take a fucking whiteboard wall, whatever floats your boat. I like Schema Designer. So,
Do we have to specify what type of data it is?
only insofar as that like the colors are differential, I suppose.
I
I
know.
don't
Yup,
I don't
yellow,
really
black,
care.
and
I mean,
white. Schema design.
I don't care. I mean, you have to you're supposed to do it the same way you'd be doing if you were making a real schema for yourself. So let's pull this off and let's put it over here and let's put this over here. No, not this one. This one needs to die. How about this one? Yeah, there we go. All right. So like take the user stories below and convert them to a schema. What's the number one thing to pay attention to above anything else when you're trying to figure out schema, when you're trying to figure out relationships and you're dealing with user stories? There's one little gotcha that like screws everyone over because they don't give it enough credence. It's not the ID. It's not even technical.
Single.
If I had candy, I'd give you one. Yeah, singularity versus plurality, hands down, is the thing you've like really got to pay attention to. This is not like just for a testing situation, but this is Active Record databases schema just in general. When we talk about Active Record tomorrow, I'm going to hem and haw about it for a long, long time because it matters a lot. And you will train your brain over time to like see those S's and automatically start to like check some boxes off in your brain whenever you see an S. Right? Like when I see a plural variable name, I expect that to be a collection. When I see a singular variable name, I expect that to be an object or, you know, some basic primitive, not a collection. Period. So when I'm making a relationship between two things in my schema and it says, you know, and there's some plurality there, like which songs are in the user's playlist? Like I know that there's going to be at least one collection contained within that query. It's not going to be any singular thing. Songs is plural, so it's got to be at least a collection of songs, right? All right, so let's get started. For an artist, for a song, for a playlist, for a genre, for a user. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to need tables for all those things. That seems like a reasonable assumption. Let's make them. Add table. Artists, plural, right? And songs, plural. Table names are always plural. Playlists. Genres. I think that's right. And users. Okay? So, y'all don't know this about me because we haven't talked about it at all, but if I'm obsessive compulsive about absolutely anything in this world, it is the like cleanliness of my schema design, which I'm going to not focus on right now at all. So I mean, yeah, this seems like probably the tables, and now my next pass would probably be like attributes, right? Like I want to kill the small fish first. So for an artist, what is the artist's name? So an artist is going to need a name. So I'm going to come to artist, and I'm going to add a field, name, text, boom. What songs did the artist record? That sounds like a relationship. I'm going to skip that. I'm not doing relationships right now. I'm just doing attributes. Solving one problem at a time. Okay. Which users listens to the artist? Okay, again. All right. So moving on. Songs. What's song's title? That sounds like an attribute. What is the length of the song? That sounds like an attribute. Which artist recorded the song? That sounds like a relationship. On which playlist is the song included? Relationship, right? Like we're directly referencing another table. It's probably a relationship. With which genres has the song been labeled? Relationship. Moving on, playlist. What's the playlist name? Oh, cool. Name. What's the playlist description? Super punk metal death funk jam 4000 Annihilation soundtrack special edition. Happy Christmas. Which user created the playlist? That references another table. Which songs are on the playlist? That references another table. Which genres are on the playlist? That references another table. Okay, moving on. Genre. Genre's name. Description. Playlist, another table. Songs, another table. No. Which songs are labeled with the genre, another table. Which artists record music in the genre, another table. And then we just got users left. So up here, users. Damn it. There we go. Which playlist did the user create? Which songs are on the user's playlist? And to which genres does the user listen? So now comes the hard part, right? Like now I've got my tables established and my attributes established. That's all easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Now we need to like figure out how they're all interconnected. And we want to solve this one problem at a time, same as the rest. So like we'll take the lines that we've yet to evaluate and we'll evaluate each one of them and like think through and make a determination about what its relationship with another table might be. But before we actually make that relationship a reality, we're going to cross-reference with everything else that we've got and ensure that there's no conflicting information. Cool?
By conflicting, you mean like duplicate?
Like maybe it should be a different kind of relationship than what I initially thought it should be because of information I found later in life. So what songs did the artist record? So songs is plural, an artist is singular. An artist probably can record many songs. I think a song probably records to or belongs to an artist, at least according to whatever copyright notice I got last year. So I'm going to go with a one-to-many on that. That sounds like a one-to-many. For those of, I wasn't here yesterday. I harp on this a lot. When you're talking about relationships in SQL, I always want to hear them as a two-sentence structure, like a two-statement phrase. In this case, an artist has many songs, and a song belongs to an artist.
Collaboration songs?
I'm sorry?
Collaboration songs? Like Korn and Beatles come together to do this
Okay,
kind of
we'll
song?
look into that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case for this one. I'm just like in general, when you're like talking about your relationships, you should say it in two statements because a relationship will almost always be a two-way street, and you should get used to talking about it in that like English way. It's also like, you know what? Doesn't matter what it also is. I'll tell you later. Okay. So right now I'm thinking a one-to-many relationship for songs that the artist recorded. Let's keep looking and see if we can find anything else to sway our minds about this. Which artist recorded the song? Which artist recorded the song?
Uh-huh.
These are both singular. And regardless of what edge cases I might think about as a human that has real world experience, like this is a client that gave me these details and I could probably go back to them, but like if this is, if my project manager like dropped this in my lap, then this is how I need to build it, right? Okay. So that still makes me think one to many. Let's keep going. On which playlist, with which genres, playlists, genres, which songs are on a playlist. So I see some more stuff about songs, but nothing else in relation to songs and artist. In fact, nothing else related to artist at all, right? So I'm going to go with a one-to-many. Cool? So with a one-to-many relationship, we need to add something to one of our tables. What is it?
Foreign key.
And where does the foreign key live?
Many.
Okay.
Correct,
That-
just not perfectly stated.
It wasn't how I usually state it, so it threw me for a loop. Sorry.
So artist and songs. Artist underscore ID.
Artist and songs. And artist underscore ID goes where?
Songs.
Right. The way that I think about it, and you can think about however you want, but remember the two-sentence structure, the two-phrase structure, right? One of those phrases is always going to be belongs to. And the one that belongs to is the one that receives the foreign key. Period. So artist has many songs, the song belongs to an artist. Boom, I just told myself where I need to insert my foreign key. And then I can connect these lines. Shaplow. Cool. Let's move on. Next one, we'll roll back up at the top until we're done, right? Which users listen to an artist? So users listening to artist. So users probably have songs, maybe? Like users, I would imagine, listen to songs. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep reading. So what is the length of a song? On which playlist is the song included? With which genre has the song been labeled? which songs are on a playlist, which genres are represented, which user created the playlist, songs, labeled genre, artist genres, songs playlist. I'm not really sure how I'm going to establish this link between users and artists.
So should we move on to the next one? Would you like to?
Oh, you want to move on to the next one? I'm down with that. I would probably, you know what, let's
I
do?
can see users and playlists.
Let's do this. This is going to work out really well. I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to take it out of the browser and into my editor so that now I can, like, as I accomplish things, I can lose them. Yeah? These two go away. These two go away. These two go away. I think that's right. So for an artist, which users listen to the artist, so we need to come back to that one, but we'll move on to the next one. So for a song, which artist recorded the song? We took care of that one. On which playlist is the song included? Yeah, let's take a look at playlist. So songs and playlist. On which playlists, plural, is a song included? So a song can have many playlists, clearly. And, you know, if we were thinking one to many, then that would mean that a playlist belongs to a song. Does that work?
No.
No, probably not. So let's keep reading. Which user created a playlist? Which songs, plural, are on the playlist? So a playlist can have many songs, and a song doesn't belong to a playlist, right? Like you can have a song, and you can have a song, and I can have the song. We can all have them on different playlists, right? Okay. So this is a many. What do we need for a many? Join table. And how do we name it?
Playlist song.
Alphabetical order.
Playlist songs. Fuck you. Yeah, playlist songs. Oh, who said that? Huh?
Playlist song.
We'll argue about that. Because we will. Not right now, but later you're welcome to argue with me about it. Playlist songs. It just sounds right.
Either way, it's correct, right?
Yes, either way is correct. And then, so what goes on this table? Just the foreign keys. So a song underscore ID and a playlist underscore ID. With many relationships, that's why I say two phrases as opposed to two sentences, because many to manys sound longer. They're longer than a one to many or a many to many, or a one to many or a one to one, rather, sorry. With the phrase for a many relationship, how I would describe this is I would say that a playlist has many playlist songs, and a playlist has many songs through playlist songs. Right? And the inverse. Songs have many playlist songs. Songs have many playlists through playlist songs. And finally, playlist songs belong to songs, and playlist songs belong to playlist. Cool? Let's link them up. All right, we got a join table now. Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay.
And you can monkey around with moving them up and down to make them so they don't cross either, right?
Yeah. You really shouldn't get me started. So, all right, which songs are on I think I've satisfied this. Which songs are on a playlist and which playlist is the song included? I think I've satisfied those relationships. Let's look and see if there's anything else in regards to playlists and songs that we might need to take care of right now.
Genres or playlist?
I'm sorry?
So genre and playlist?
Well, genres and playlists aren't related to songs and playlists, are they?
Which songs? No.
For the user one, which user created the playlist.
Ooh, which user created a playlist? Okay, so users in playlist. What else do we got for users? Which user artist, which playlist did the user create, and which user created the playlist. So which playlist, plural, user singular, playlist singular. What kind of relationship? One to many, right? And please give me the English structure.
Which
User
playlist
has
belongs to
many
which
Playlists. Playlist belongs to. No.
Playlist belongs to one.
Playlist has many songs.
There you go. A user has many playlists. A playlist belongs to a user, right? One to many. Whatever, Roger. So let's make that happen. We can bring that right in. So if the playlist belongs to the user, then we're just it's gonna need a user ID because the foreign key goes on the belonging table, right? Okay. And now we can lose these two. We're done with these. Which leaves us with which songs are in the user's playlist. Users go through playlist to playlist songs, which goes to songs. I think we've already got that.
Could you repeat that last bit?
This one right here says which songs are in the user's playlist. I think we've already established that. Because users, you can look up your playlist, and then from your playlist you can see all the songs that are in your playlist, right? So I don't think we need to do any more work for that one. That one's already like kit caboodled.
So as long as there's a chain from one table to another table, if that chain exists, that question's already answered.
Oy, that's a dangerous statement to make.
I'm a dangerous man.
Yes. I mean, technically yes, but oh God, no.
Avoid that.
Like your ability to traverse connected tables is something that is present, but you don't want to be the developer writing or reading or maintaining like queries that are 14 lines long. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
So within reason, yes, and also no. All right. So what do we got left? We got which users listen to an artist. Which users listen to an artist? Oh, what about this one? Users. So if I'm a user and I got playlist, and my playlist contains songs, and each one of those songs has an artist. I'm sorry?
So it's answered.
Yeah, it's answered. I'm good with that. Dylan, you good with that? Roger, you good with that?
Yeah, I spaced out a little at the end, but it seemed like a good path.
Unless users listen to songs that are not on playlists.
Oh.
I don't think. Fuck off. I don't think that this challenge specifically accounts for that edge case.
There's no, so this doesn't record plays, it just records playlists, and so there's no way within this database to know if something has been played and it's not in the playlist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are building the database.
So you could add a bunch of extra stuff. That would
Yes,
make you a
be
lot
the
longer and
master
be
of
very
your own
frustrating.
creation. All right, let's look at the rest here. So, with which genres has the song been labeled? Which genres are represented on the playlist? Which songs are labeled by a genre? Which artist records music in a genre? And to which genres does a user listen? Fuck.
One too many, one too many.
Okay, we got this big genre thing happening here. We got to figure out where it's all going. So genres is just over here on its own. With which genres, plural, has a song, singular, been labeled?
One too many.
So yeah, initial thought is a one-to-many relationship where what?
One song, one genre.
A genre has many songs and a song belongs to a genre?
No, from many.
Because it says to which genres.
Okay, moving on. Which genres are represented by a playlist?
Wait, why are we moving on?
Which genres has the song been labeled?
Oh, it says it's genres plural.
It could have
Okay.
one genre.
With which genres has the song been labeled? So that would mean that a song would have to have multiple genres. Ah.
It could be electronica and speedcore. They're both, they fit both of them.
Yes. It could be Southern bluegrass gospel and also shit people doesn't listen to. So, given that it's a many to many, what do we need?
Join table.
Yeah, super easy, right? Like, if we have a many to many, we have to have a join table. And you take that to the bank. And this one we'll call what?
Song genres.
Because alphabetical order.
Because alphabetical order. Same things we're going to need here. Song underscore ID. Genre underscore ID.
Do you always have the join table no matter what? Or
You have the join table anytime you have a many to many relationship. Many to many relationships go through a join table.
Okay.
Period. Okay?
I just saw in the Sunday weekend thing, some people created in the pull requests, there was like a table which consolidated, which wasn't a separate table created. So like if there was another table that had...
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm welcome. I will happily take a look at whatever code you got. All right, so here's songs, connecting, song ID. And there's like genres off to the side, all pretty and shit. Song seems like my central table. I'm going to put it in the middle. Okay. Which genres has the song been labeled? So that takes care of that. Which songs are labeled with the genre? That takes care of that, right? Because like we now have this relationship between songs and genres. I'll spell it out for you. A song has many genre songs. And a song has many genres through genre songs. A genre has many songs, or a genre has many genre songs, has many songs through genre songs. And genre songs, the fuck? Genre songs belongs to a song, and genre songs belongs to a genre. Yes?
Okay, so basically you have a table that if you filtered genre column to one genre, you just get a bunch of songs with that genre.
Yeah, so you do like a where statement like you were doing today, right?
Right.
Except that your where statement would be like, you'd look at this table, genre songs, and you would say where, like, genre ID is 256. And you get back everything that's like punk, monkey, death rock.
And same thing with songs. If you just put where by song, you'll get all the genres.
There you go. That is 100% correct. Cool. So which songs are, so we took care of this. And we took care of this. Which artist recorded music in a genre? So let's see. Artists have many songs, and those songs belong to genres. So I think we can get there through here. Right? Where we like take the collection, we take all the genres, we take all the songs, we map over them to find their genres. Yeah? So we're good on that one. To which genres does a user listen? Can we make that leap? Users have many playlists. Got a lot of songs in those playlists. Each of those songs has a lot of genres. So yeah, you can totally make that journey. Right? Just having the lines isn't good enough. You have to be able to explain your relationships, right? Refer to the earlier conversation around like code review 101, right? And like I'm going to ask you questions about like why does this work the way it works? So, and again, it's not an inquisition. It's just like we're having a chat, and like it's up to you to defend your code, which you should get used to, because that's going to be a theme that's going to continue throughout your professional career. All of you. I'm not just looking at you. So I think I'm done. That's everything. Shibbity splow, right? I'd probably spend the next 45 minutes arranging until it was pixel perfect, and then I take a screenshot, and then I arrange some more. Don't do that.
Thank you
I
for
don't.
the vision.
So that'd be schema porn then?
Yeah, schema porn. That's right. So like that's how I would break down user stories and derive schema from it, right? Like I step by step, I solve one problem at a time. I pay a lot of attention to the singular versus the plural nature of the things. I break it down into its various components where it's like tables first, attributes second, relationships third. And I'm constantly reassessing and cross-checking what I've seen thus far to like make sure that like no previous assumptions contradict what I'm working on at the moment. Right? And that's something we all have to get like crazy better at as we're progressing through this program, is like making sure that the code we're writing at the moment like doesn't contradict the code that we wrote 20 minutes ago or 3 months ago or whatever. You know what I mean? And like all these things are like building one upon the other. Just a little theme to take with you. That's it. That's all. That's what I got. It's 7:15. I really meant what I said about like not staying up too late and getting a good night's rest. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Thank you.
This was great.
You're
Thank
welcome.
Can we peek at the fourth thingy?
Can you submit a pull request?
No, you just want to see the thing on it?
Yeah, I just want to.
I mean,
Okay,
number
expect.
4, yeah, sure. Just so like we can't say that fucking piece of shit Hunter, he didn't.
Show me the whole test.
Yeah, he didn't. Part 4 is SQL queries. So you'll have a schema that's predetermined for you. It'll have a database in SQLite 3 that you'll need to spin up, and then you'll run some queries against that database to get some data out. So like for this one, it's a database on teams and positions and players. And it wants you to be able to give a list of all the players' names and which teams are from Chicago and who are the players that play soccer, right? Bunch of selects. Then a bunch of modifications. One of the teams in the database signed a player center wearing this jersey number called Kevin. Update the database and like insert the new data. So you need to be able to put these things in, right? It's just a bunch of schema or SQL queries. You'll write them.
Did you modify the database?
Like update the database. You put some new shit in there. That's modifying.
Was that what we did today?
Yep.
Oh,
No. Today you built an ORM. Yesterday you modified databases. Look. Insert into imps,
oh, just
know,
that kind of
some shit. Right? There, I modified the database. You know what I mean?
Okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Yesterday was a blur.
So you've got this queries.md file here, and it's I don't know if you've seen this before, but in Markdown, it's got these 3 backticks followed by a language. Means that everything inside of here will be syntactically highlighted to that language when it gets pushed up to GitHub.
Oh,
is
I was
really
erasing all of that yesterday, just putting in the,
I removed all that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I use this literally every day, right? Like, but like this,
So,
or like
See,
this,
okay.
right?
what? I missed that, sorry.
So in Markdown, which all readmes are all Markdown, right? So .md, these 3 backticks followed by a language means that what's inside will be syntactically formatted for that language, like highlighted and everything. So yeah, you want to, you know, the section that says like queries and outputs, you want to throw them in here. Probably sounds good, right? So you throw your query in here and your result in here. And like I said earlier, just write your query here in the editor from the get-go, and then copy paste it over to the terminal. That way, when you screw it up, you can just come back here and make quick edits. And right, we want to really keep the ball going tomorrow. Asking questions is a totally legitimate thing.